So, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going over a very fun game for our lecture tonight. We are going over a player who managed to play in the way that I have been trying to play on my Turtles account. Those of you who have been on stream or are on stream or appear on stream at some point in the future, you know that I have an account called Turtles on Foxy, and on Turtles I have said specifically what we're going to do on Turtles is we're not going to go all in on trying to kill things. Things may die occasionally, but we're never going to play a game in which we feel that we have to kill something in order to win the game. That is the idea. A lot of my games tend to go into exactly that sort of field, where if they don't die, I just don't know what to do after that. So, this pro game we're going over fits that very nicely, I feel. We got Park Jung-won. Everyone should know who Park Jung-won is. He is a very strong Korean player who, I mean, as far as I'm aware, he's kind of one of the players who, I've looked at a couple of his games, he seems to be resisting the whole alpha hype of, playing immediately like AlphaGo with the horrible immediate invasions and throwing stones all over the place and calling it Aji and then trying to live with it later and all that kind of stuff. So as a result, he's probably easier to follow for a lot of everyone, really. Games are pretty straightforward a lot of the time. As you are all aware, we start off in the upper right-hand corner of the board with sound off, apparently. Let's go ahead and change that. Sound enabled for my games. Thank you very much. Start off in the upper right-hand corner of the board. White is going to go in the upper left, inviting any and all kind of variations that black feels inclined to do. I'm also going to take off the reverb because I forgot that we were on WDuck a moment ago. There we go. Much better. All right. Now, white is going to, of course, take a corner for himself, too. Interesting that he has the 3-4 stones facing each other. He's got a kind of strategy in mind. Black encloses and says to white, "You can go right ahead, sir, and show me exactly what it is you wanted to do." And white says, "I'm going to approach you low, for starters." An odd move in of itself. Can anyone tell me why? Could anyone tell me why the low approach here on this board, given black stones, is a little bit unusual? It's not an odd move. I will disagree that it is a bit of an odd move. Seems normal to you. Okay, so here's why it's a bit of an odd move. If we play high, it is a little bit unlikely that our opponent's going to play a pincer like this because there's not a lot of Jiseki which involve the high approach here, because we're able to, presumably we wanted to approach high for influence. This does jack to get rid of that. We could even get a perfect base in here. More than a, don't ever play Q2, by the way. More than enough large area for a perfect base. So we settle nice and perfectly. We like settling nice and perfectly if we get the opportunity to. So it seems like everything is going a-okay for our opponent. One of the reasons why you don't see faraway pincers very often, you see kind of things like this. So at most, if they want to settle, they're not settling this way, right? So that's very common to see. We see this, again, can't really go in here and make a base very well here because we're very tightly pincered. But, the further away these stones go, the more we can actually do such things, because it's a more comfortable living area. Low pincer, on the other hand, we're completely invited, or low approach, sorry. We're completely invited to pincer far away, because there's still not really a lot of good room here to make a base here. And we can't play away because we don't want to get kicked. So it just seems to work better. Far pincers work better against low approaches than they do against high approaches, which is why we see this a lot more than the low. So the question that white has to ask himself is, you approached low, you knew you were going to get pincered far, you knew that pincer is going to work well with the enclosure, so what in the heck are we trying to do with this stone? Are we going to try and play here? Probably, we could just try to settle. Hopefully not just settle. White leans. You say white plays k3 here. Wait, what? White plays k3 here? I must have missed when you were suggesting that, because I don't think we would like to play k3 here. I could see l3. I dimly recall l3 as a variation that we sometimes see, because we can threaten things like connections now, potentially, or even things like just like this. So I dimly recall something like that maybe working. K3 seems a little bit strange. So instead we're leaning. Very simple variation usually. We just play here to settle typically, and then we can leave it. Now you might ask yourself, but what happens if our opponent doesn't play away? What if our opponent plays here and then goes and plays here? Well, the problem with that is this is not happy at all. So we're not going to do that variation. So we do this one instead. But again, what are we really doing here? White settled. It looks like the idea here now is to just give white 2 moves in a row. Or at least 1 move in a row, rather. Well, yeah, 2 moves in a row. Because if we ladder, we get a free move. And then we take and get another free move. And then do something? Question? Not really sure what. Black plays here instead. Forcing a defense. Forcing potential. Build. Trying to surround the corner. White says, I will instead kill you. But note, he's not going to take this for the same reason they mentioned earlier. We wouldn't want to take this in Gote and then to, like, be surrounded here or then get that approached or whatever else, right? So we would never do that. Never, ever, ever. We did this. That's enough. Our opponent can never Hana here at R2, while the double Atari at P2 exists. So white can play elsewhere. And thus we have to evaluate the board as is. Do we like the positions that are occurring here? They both have enclosures. Upper right, upper right, and upper left. Okay. Black has extend still. It's pretty good for black. White's threatening an extend, but it's black's move. And black could potentially link up the stones for a massive amount of something on the upper right-hand corner of the areas. Whereas white has the corners. Does anyone still favor white's position? That is now the question. Is this a position that we favor? Is this a nice even board still? Given that it is black's move, bear in mind. Or do we maybe not like it so much? What do you think? What do you think? X blue likes white. Alright. If you like white, must have some relatively even position still. Okay. Let's see how the game progresses then. We're not going to block the extension because they get enclosure. Instead, we're going to go corner, side, then center, and approach the open corner. White is backing away because he knows if we go for territory, that's potentially a lot of freaking territory right there, right? We don't want to do that. The bottom is where black's potential is currently. So we play here to make certain that we don't give that potential up. Okay. Makes sense. It means you are low and flat. However, that is a small price to pay for not suddenly having... Oh God, how many would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. And 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 lines of territory. That would have been a big area. So we dodge that by playing F3. And everyone should be able to find a move like F3, just being aware of where a large point is. And if you're playing basics, if you've been looking at the basic series, then you should always be aware of where the large areas are, so we can find that and take it away. Alright, White's turn. So he says, I get myself an extension now. Black says, are you alive in the corner? White says, indeed I am, good sir. So White says carry on, or Black says carry on. I can't tell, bats. You can draw angry and happy faces, so I wouldn't know what's going on right now. Oh, Yeah. Anyway. This move is nice. What does this move try to do? Where are this move's follow-ups? What say you? I have two parts to this question. We're going to try and identify how we find a move like L17. Aiming for an evasion or its building, I don't understand timing of P2. It's just a free move. You know, we play here. If our opponent plays elsewhere, that's potential co for the corner. It's pretty big. Pretty bigly. However, if we do it immediately, that's the tricky part, right? If we do it immediately and our opponent encloses, that gets tricky. That one gets a little tricky. That one gets tricky. We just got an extra territory. So maybe something like this isn't so bad now. Like, I get this corner, you get that corner? Ew. Right? This moves help build and help invasion. Not that move. That move. Nope, not that move. This move? Not that move. This one. This one? That one. The one over here. Seriously? There we go. Perfect. Alright, so we do have a lot of follow-ups here. We could actually play a lot of everything with the follow-up. Like, a lot of things here make us really happy. We could do something as simple as attach to this stone to grow the right-hand side. That'd make us happy. We could dive in here to try and attack J17. That'd make us happy as well. So this threatens a lot of really cool stuff. Now, it's hard to find sometimes, because if we're just going by sheer line count, we'd be like, dude, you just took like an extra 2 lines of territory. Could you get any smaller? And thus you would think, well, instead I'm going to go ahead and play over here. But this doesn't have a lot of follow-ups. It's technically more lines, but it doesn't have the great follow-ups that this does. So if we're looking, again, just at basics, trying to find large points on the board, it kind of goes back to the modifiers that I mentioned in conversation in one of my videos. Where, yes, this is 2, but it gets plus modifiers because there's a weak point for white and an area to grow for black. And those modifiers way outweigh the 3 or 4 lines here that we could have gotten for ourselves instead. There's way less potential. So that's how we find it like L17. Our opponent says, I can do that too. I can take a 2 line and I'm threatening things too. I'm threatening to invade you, punk. And I'm threatening to grow. So the question now, it's high noon. Who's gonna blink first? Do we defend ourselves? Do we defend? I mean, our moves aren't really going anywhere, right? Surely we should defend ourselves now. But we're not going to, because we were ignored first before we respond. If we play here, we have to be very, very careful, because now suddenly, let's do this really severe, just so you can see it like in crystal clarity. One possible variation that will not be played would be this one. Just to give you an example of what happens if you give up Sente. Then your opponent can be like, I can find the forcing moves that I need to build myself, and you're not going to find the same things to, grow yourself. So if we do this, we might not be able to do the growing like we want to do with L17. So black says, I'm going to grow. You don't give choices. You don't get choices. I get choices. And so far, the game is really, really straightforward. It's nice. It's solid. There's nothing too complicated going on. Just like each player finding the large points on the board. So far, it is primo material for if you were trying to do a basic series, right? Or get pro examples for like a basic series. Because now that the sides are taken, we're expanding into the center, right? We actually went corners, sides, freaking center. So it's perfect in that regard. And now it is time to invade. How do we know it's time to invade? Because if we play here, if we play here, the question becomes which player is getting more? And the potential is going more for black than it is for white. It is a problem. So white says, I'ma invade you right now. And black just lets it go. How weird is that? A little bit of pressure. Make sure it can't get a base. Make sure it can't get a base. Backing off with the stones, not just being nice and strong. Watching his opponent get in those forcing moves, those eye shapies. Gonna poke at the eye shapies because we're nice and strong. If we had played like the Hane or something here, then we couldn't have Sente to poke at this, but we backed off nice and strong. Got a whole host of liberties so we can go a little bit of pokey. Now we defend, and our stream is lagging. Alright. So, now we're getting our shape for our group, which is all nice. Go over sequence again. It was pretty straightforward. Our opponent played here. And now we would be tempted, really tempted, to be like, I am not going to let you get forcing moves, sir. I'm going to play this way. And then maybe he plays here. And then we just keep resisting. And giving forcing moves away until... it was really easy for him to get shaper. That's not so good. But instead, you maintain connection. Like, I'm just gonna chill. Same thing here. Tempted to play this one. But if we do these things, maybe we give more forcing moves away. Right? So we don't do that either. We just completely chill. We can do this one because this doesn't work. Right? So we attach here. We play this one, not the Hane. If we play the Hane, here, look what just happened. You're about to die. Painfully in a fire. Like, what do we do? Connect here now and watch this die? Connect here and watch this die? So we back away. Now... Sorry, we Atari. We backed away, so we're strong, so we can pincer, or poke, sorry. Have to connect. Then get shapey shapies. White's still looking for shape. Black's like, are you really alive, sir? It's looking kind of sketchy. He's picking up some points. Good old Black is. But as you can see, right now we seem to be A-okay for the moment, right? We're out, we got eyes. Everything's okay for now. Black got profit from White living. That is all we needed. Now, there are some players, I don't know who they would be right now, but there are some players who would probably still try and attack and kill this because they're crazy. They might even be happy enough to play a move like over here just to ensure this doesn't get 2 eyes. Or some kind of weird throw-in just to try to keep killing. But we don't know anyone like that. We don't know anyone like that. E9? No, not E9. Not quite, not quite. Instead, we're going to go and play here. We're playing here for a couple of reasons. One, we're asking ourselves the fundamental question. What can we do here? What can we do here? If you pull back, I can go into your face. Interesting variations. If you pull forward, I can attach. This is variation. This is actual, sorry. Disconnect the 2 stones. Watch as we get some strength here. To attack J17. So far, this game of attacking... This game's attacking so far is kind of in Black's favor. I mean, you know, we're just profiting a little bit. That's all we're really doing. Though I do want to also point out, for those of you who follow it as a basic series, this has all been reactionary fighting for the most part, right? Like, up until here, Black is just being nice and strong, making sure he's got bases, just trying to build, getting extensions for his enclosures, things like that. His opponent decides to pick a fight with the invasion, and so we just decide how best we can profit from attacking said invasion. Got a couple of stones there. There's our profit. But don't you know it? Our opponent ignored our K14. Like, we just wanted to build. He ignored us. So now we're going to go ahead and follow up the attack there as well. So we're not really initiating as Black. We're kind of just waiting to see what our opponent does. While we remain nice and strong, I'm just kind of taking it from there. And here, as you can see, we're just taking a point for ourselves. And white is trying to keep this from growing. So we have something like this. Now what says you on black's next move? Anyone have any ideas? Greetings there, XJC Games. For some reason I'm listening to a song that's going on about London right now. From Assassin's Creed. Interesting. R7, I like the idea, Sagaizu, but it is not aggressive enough. Be ugly. Be up in his face. Be more aggressive. R7 is the right idea, but really go after him. What's a more aggressive move than R7? Because you're right. I love that you found that. You're like, dude, we need to play here again because holy stuff. If we don't, I mean, he's got like moves all over the place. He's got moves on top of moves on top of moves on top of moves on top of moves. Like this is in trouble, right? So you're absolutely right. We need a move here. And you found it immediately, and I like that. That's cool. But now we need to be up in his face. I'm hovering over it, aren't I? Yes, I am. Did anyone say S6? No one said S6. This one, this move is a bastard. This one is saying, look at me. I'm gonna push you, and you're not alive in the corner now. You don't respond to me? And maybe, you know, it's a great base you got there, but it's a shame if something happens to it. So, this is a safe move, but this is a scrappy move. Oh, Carl, did you say that before I clicked? Because I saw you saying that after I clicked. You said before I clicked. Congratulations, Carl. Way to go. You got it. You and your 2-2 are going places. So yeah, we play here. Backing off. Oh, we have to play a Gote move. Oh man, Gote. We fixed ourselves in Sente. Now we can find the next large point. Where is it? Where's the next large point? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? We fixed ourselves in Sente. We noticed immediately we're in trouble. We fixed ourselves, and now we get free reign to do whatever we please. H2? 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 Again, just kind of ask yourself this. Where is Black's profit? Where'd that be profit bein', lads? There be profit in these shores. Is there really any H profit? Ugh. H. I guess if it was Japan, there could be. Anyway, profit's in the middle, right? We be growing, and we be keeping low. There, ladies and gents, be the profit. You guys are all so close. Some of you guys are really close. You have like really good ideas. You're seeing the low stuff on the left. That's really, really good. But first, we take note that our friend is not alive local yet. So we can have the forcing moves here before we do the forcing moves elsewhere. Hello there, Kite. Haseo, I've been live since 3. Ending after this, sorry. So we attack this again, getting a couple more forcing moves out of here, locking this from our beloved center. Where are we going? Where are we going? We are profiting. Look at our opponent trying not to die. And now we take. Got a few more potential points over here. And now we take the large point. Now we take the large point. Our opponent, becoming fearful about the middle, it's growing. He seeks to come into the center. Black, knowing his potential, seeks to take advantage of the cutting point. This move is amazing, and I've showed it to you a million times on stream. We're offering up a point because we want to go around the stone. We want to do something like this, right? This is the kind of thing that we want to do to keep building up that middle. So we're offering it, seeing if our opponent takes advantage. Our opponent says, "Stop ignoring my moves, jerk." It's like, okay, I'll defend myself. And I'll defend myself. Now what do we do? Defending, defending, defending. He's not going to Black's pace. He's seeing what's going on. And he's getting in the middle, so it can stop right now. Black just defends. But White can't deny that juicy, juicy stone. That yummy, yummy, yummy stone. Ooh, this stone is so yummy. Surely, now that we have enough moves in the middle, we can take the yummy stone, right? So we get the wraparound. But Black is still going after them. Still going after them forcing moves. Chance. Asking simple questions. Looks like a bad exchange for our lovely opponent. Our lovely Black player, huh? But there's forcing moves here now. Just you wait and see. Got to play a forcing move, that's always good. It's always good. White goes to attack again. Because he can't resist. Can't resist this group. Right. It starts off basic. Yeah. It started off basic, but this is a pro game still. So probes and looking for Aji, alas, those will very, very rarely be basic. It's unfortunate, but it's true. This, for example, is forcing 2 more moves out of White. Maybe a forcing move here. But yeah, when they stop responding to each other, that's when things do tend to get a little bit aggressive. But don't worry, you'll be able to follow along again very shortly. Because once again, we're kind of going into this fight on the left-hand side of the board. Stone's confirmed kill. Whoops. Stone's confirmed kill. But because we have extra influence, we get to go back and play here now. Because that stupid group is still not alive. And once again, we're tempted, right? We're tempted. Can we kill this? Our opponent says, I'm not going to respond to you. So now we're tempted even more to kill this. However, rather than go all in on trying to kill this right now, Black is not tempted. Black is playing away, giving White the opportunity in exchange for a little bit more in the middle. And a little bit more in the middle. And ending the large endgame points. Because he's just taking the large points as they come up, knowing damn well white has to go back and live at some point. So rather than attacking it and trying to kill it and maybe failing in Gotate, that would be terrible. He's just going to go, it's like, I'm going to take my large points. You owe me moves right now. I'm going to take my large points because I don't have to kill you. And sure enough, bang. White has to go back and live. Now, this is a large point, bear in mind, because this was endgame. Potential endgame there that's now been denied by playing this move. And now we're here. And we get to play another big move. We get to play more endgame. More great endgame points. Why? Because our opponent owed us a move. We got that move. That's profit from that group being weak. We don't have to kill it for that to be profit, right? The fact that he had to play there again gave us the profit we needed. Now I got some endgame. We go back and see if maybe a little bit more. Finishing up that center. Again, not trying to kill. We're just getting more profit in the middle. Not giving up stones. Not going to give up anything. Keep connections, keep connections, keep connections. But. And here is the really, really big but of Park Jung-won. Weird. Anyway. White goes after this, but Black's last moves said you can't. You can't do that. You owed me more moves. We were having a good conversation. You owe me moves. He was saying, I'm going to build, but you can do nothing about that. You need to live. White says, I'm going to try to cut through you. But what Black says, my big butt says you cannot do that. I now have an icon in mind for our lecture. And thus we enclose. Now, the question rises, can we break out of this? And without even reading it, we know we can't. Because that's not a move that can be played. There's no way out. That's nothing either. There's no pushing and cutting. He died. Single tier. Like, as long as you're honest with me and you don't try to be greedy and do something stupid, you don't die, is what Park was saying. He was content, perfectly content with just this living. It's like, yeah, you just connect up, live. Easy. Never has to die. He's probably going to take more territory for himself if he does. But White just had to counterattack and not defend himself. And he got himself eaten as a result. So Park didn't have to kill. Park didn't have to kill. He attacked for profit over and over and over again. He just poked at the shape points just to get a response out of his opponent. Didn't have to kill, just poked to respond to me. poke to respond to me, while I just keep building along the way. To be fair, it's entirely possible that he thought that he had to go for this. He just had to go for the bottom kill, or something. Though I'm not sure if this is even a bottom kill. Is it really a bottom kill? Yeah, okay, I guess it's a bottom kill. We can't do anything about that. Maybe he felt he needed to go after this because he just didn't have enough territory. And that'd be understandable. After this, ooh, God, that's... Ugh. Like, if we don't do that, and we just kind of play, like, here or whatever... Like, even the guesstimator says, yeah, black's a little bit up. And a little bit up in pro land means we're screwed. So I hope you enjoyed this game of attacking for profit, of finding the larger points constantly by Mr. Park Jung-won. Gotta love his ability to find those bigly moves. He was ahead without the kill, yes. He was profiting like an insane person without a dat kill. It's on big move after big move. I mean, it's only about 10 points up. But keep in mind, 10 points up isn't a game like where you would play when you're 10 points up. Or where I would play where I'm 10 points up. Where we could still probably lose. Here, we're 10 points up. Now we're giving our opponent Sente again, potentially. I mean, we're not making that up in Endgame. We're just not. So yeah. Pretty cool, huh? It's a great game that if you're trying to do basic series, some of the fighting's a little, but finding the large points when someone has Sente, something you can work on, and you can work on that with this game most definitely. Most definitely. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this game. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. I want to say thank you again to everyone who's followed the channel today, all of those who are resubbing on Twitch, all of the patrons who are still being so amazing on Patreon. I could not do any of this without all of you fine folks. Literally and figuratively, actually. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.